backwards, man. This ain't gonna help. You gotta start on the right page here, man. You gotta know what you're doing. You ever know what you're doing? You ever wonder? I'm a Catholic boy, raised and went to catechism. You know, there was the priests and the nuns, and they had their robes and their habits and the sacramental wine. Remember the priests up there? He'd be putting his hand on the back of the flask with the wine after the oil was poured. He'd get another shot. And it's funny, you'd see that same priest down at the gin mill on Saturday night before Sunday Mass. They didn't take a vow not to drink. Although I don't know, there was a rumor when we were Boy Scouts that they could drink for a certain number of years if they only drunk wine and beer, then something about drinking hard stuff, or something about abstinence for a while, and then you can do whatever you want. I don't know. We always wondered what went on in the nunnery, and we always wondered what went on in the rectory. Wrecked them, it nearly killed them. A priest and a nun in a desert cabin. They're caught in the middle of a blizzard. Yeah, this deserted cabin, and they're taking shelter, and they find a sleeping bag, a bed, and a pile of blankets, and the priest, being the gentleman that he is, offers the nun the bed and takes the sleeping bag for himself. And as they get tucked in for the night, the nun calls out, "Father, Father, I'm cold." So the priest gets up and puts another blanket on the nun. "Is that better, sister?" he asks. "Yes, Father, much better," she replies. So he gets back in the sleeping bag and starts to nod off when he hears her call out again, "Father, I'm still cold." So once again the priest gets up and puts another blanket on her, ensuring she be tucked in for the night, stay nice and warm. "Is that better, sister?" "Yes," she answers. "Oh, Father, that is so much better." So the priest puts himself back in the sleeping bag, and this time he's starting to dream sugar plums and fairies. And he wakes up to the call of sister. "Father, Father, I'm just so cold." And the priest thinks long and hard about it for a while and finally says, "Sister, we're in the middle of nowhere in a blizzard, and no one but you and me, myself and the Lord, will ever know what happens here this night. How about just for this one night, we act as though we're married?" Woohoo! And the nun thinks on this for a minute. She can't help but admit to herself that she's a little curious, and finally answers with a tentative, "Okay, Father, just for tonight, if you say so, we'll act as though we're married." So the father replies, "Get up and get your own damn blanket," and rolls over and falls back to sleep. Now, I ain't saying it's cold outside, but I had to take a chisel along with me when I walked the dog to free him from the fire hydrant. Way back in them western nights, way out there in Missouri, that's below Iowa and just short of Nebraska, there were young men hanging in the pool holes, all queued up and ready to break a rack, all angled snooker and pocket games, holding the bridge to break a pocket ball, or chalked up and scratching, and it was all stripes and solids cracking. But when we were all still pups, then and wet behind the ears. I have this thermos flask that keeps hot drinks hot and cold drinks cold, but beats me how it knows. Way back in the western nights, they were long and hard, and we'd hit the pool halls in our backyard, and young men with clues and all lined up in a row, ready to break and make a cue ball go. All angled snooker and pocket games, holding a bridge to bank a pocket ball, queued up, scratching, stripes and solids cracking. Back when we were all pups and still wet behind the ears, and we'd hustle and bustle for a shot at the green. With a steady hand, we were pool hall machines, no fear in our eyes, just the thrill of the game. Every shot we took was like a spark of flame. All angled snooker and pocket games, holding a bridge to bank a pocket ball, queued up and scratching, stripes and solids cracking. Back when we were still pups and wet behind the ears, we were all young and reckless with nothing to lose. But on the pool table we were kings of the bumpers and pockets. With every shot we'd learn a little more, and we keep coming back for that feeling that we adored. All angled snooker, pocket games, holding the bridge, banking a pocket ball, queued up and scratching, stripes and solids cracking. Back when we were pups, yeah, we were wet behind the ears. Those western nights were long gone, yet the memories of those pool hall days live on, and they will forever, forever long, in the hearts and mind of us young men who once ruled the game. Back when we were still just pups, and our dreams were so young. Now I'll tell you about the elderly couple who lived in a small house right smack dab on the U.S.-Canadian border, and for several years, two governments had argued on which nation the house belonged to and who would pay the taxes to where. And one day, the elderly couple received a letter stating that they were now considered fully American citizens and their property was deemed as American soil. And after reading this, the old lady looked at her husband and said, "Thank goodness, no more of those long, cold, hard Canadian winters." Now it seems like I ought to be able to do something with this here.